back. We are throwing chairs at This War of Mine by 11-Bit Studios. The fine gents that brought you the Anomaly Tower Offense series. It's built on a custom engine. You can pick it up for 20 what stinky space bucks or 18.99 what stinky space euros. And what is it? Make life or death decisions driven by your conscience. Try to protect everyone from your shelter. Or sacrifice some of them for longer-term survival. During the war, there are no good and bad decisions. There is only survival. The sooner you realize that, the better. And basically, you play as survivors in a war zone, trying to stay alive, trying to keep yourself fed and whatnot. It's like Space Base with Gravita. And like Space Base, it faces the Chairquisition. 1 chair means that it's crap. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good, and 4 chairs means that it's amazing. And of course, we have our categories of Doom, mixed with working, shiny sounds, controls, and fun. So let's kick this off. Then, this little war of yours shine?
Oh,
shine?
I'm going to make it mine. Seriously, on the Ubuntu 1404 LTS, dual 770 powered, soon to be 4K displayed, box of business with the octo-core goodness. It almost ran completely without a hitch. I can't ding this. When I first installed it and I hit play, Steam noped. I'm just going to blame Steam for that, because restarted Steam and everything worked just honky, othering Dory. So I'm going to give that 4 chairs. Chairman.
I ran into one issue on the Fedora 2064-bit 670 superclocked 1090T powered box by my foot here. That is unfortunately not 4K displayed. It did crash on me one time when I alt-tabbed out of it and I was trying to fuck around to play some music while I was playing the game, but I wasn't able to reproduce it, so I'm assuming that's a one-time thing. Beyond that, it worked without a hitch. Cranked up. The default settings were just to the roof maximum, and it worked. So 4 chairs.
Yeah, and for me, it worked great on the Amiga. It has an 8370E AMD FX processor and the Strix 970 GTX card. No problems whatsoever. I also tried it on my netbook here. It's got an AMD C30 APU, single core, 1.3 gigahertz. I didn't actually expect it to run, but I managed to hold, according to Gallium HD at least, 20 or so frames per second. So it's pretty good. 4 chairs.
All right, so that's 4 chairs with mixed with the working. What about the shiny and the sounds? Then
shiny and sounds. Again, for a game like this, you have to. I mean, this is basically your 2.5D look, and you have to judge it on what it is, and what it is emo. Very dark. Unlike the happy, joy, fun time that is war, at least for me.
Good God, yo!
Oh, the shinies look good for what they're supposed to be. I mean, it's supposed to simulate, your quasi-post-apocalyptic, whatever, people are running around, and all that business. That's fine. For some reason, the shinies really, really wake up my CPU. It turns it into a bit of a dustbuster. Kind of curious about that. But I'm going to have sounds, right? Yeah, there's sounds. I don't know. Didn't really. I was like, picked up the headset organ, put it in my ear. It's like, meh, all right, fine, Slayer. Done with that. But it's going to have to absolutely lose a chair, because I've lost count of how many times the filthy stink humans tried to say something in that little bubble text, and it was blinded out by the hole in the wall.
Oh, did you ever run into the thing where if two of them are standing right next to each other?
Yep.
Their speech just overlaps, and you can't tell
right.
either.
It's seizure. Yeah, it looks like everyone had a stroke. So I'm going to dig in a chair for that, because not that I'm terribly interested in their fucking issues. It's just unreadable. So I'll give it 3 chairs, because I think it is a very solid performer.
Yeah, there's not really any music in the game. You get some occasionally if you build a radio.
Baby.
There is a disturbing lack of Edwin Starr in this, I will say that. As for looks, the game looks fine. Like Ben said, it's the 2.5D hotel level thing from Smash Bros, where you go from floor to floor. It does really paint a grim picture, which I think is effective for what the game is. Additionally, the soundscape is fairly sparse. It's mostly just rustling and rumbling and all the various other noises you have in an empty house. So, but again, it adds to the aesthetic, and I think all the choices here were good aesthetic choices for the type of game they wanted to create. So, with that in mind, I'll give that 3 chairs because it's pretty good.
Yeah, the sounds were there, but they were really nothing to write home about. I've heard it said that when you're going out on a mission and scavenging, you need to sort of rely on sound to know whether or not you're alone, but I found that you can deal just fine with using only the visual aids. Like, if there's a sound...
Red circles?
Yeah, the little red circles. If there's a sound coming from somewhere in the building that you're trying to scavenge, a little red circle shows up, and that's good enough. Okay, there's something there. I need to check it out, just in case it's another scavenger or
It's a mouse.
a batter or something.
It has
It's
a
usually a
gun!
mouse. But yeah, for me, I think the most jarring part was the lack of voice acting. It's 2014. Even bad voice acting would have been something. I don't want to read entire walls of text anymore. Come
That's
on,
true.
three
With
chairs.
randomly generated characters, would voice acting really be reasonable, though?
It could be done, as assuming the dialogue was not randomly generated.
Which it isn't, but again, whatever. That's 3 chairs for Shani and Sounds. Control, then. Did
All
you
right,
feel like
you're thinking
control
point and
or
click. This is going to be
of Zavala!
incredibly difficult to cock up.
Oh.
But, there's nothing to write home about. I mean, you point, you click, people move, and all that. One thing I kind of wish they had is when you got somebody doing a task, I would like stay on that fucking task no matter what else I fucking click. Because more than once, I forgot I had somebody doing something. And I was like, oh, what's this button do? Because there's fuck all tutorial for this game. And I wanted to click, and they're like, nah, I'm moving over here. And I was like, no, you're evil. Combat in this game is a fuck mothering joke. You better kill somebody in that first whack. Because if you don't, you're going to have a bad time at the ski slope, Brad. Because more often than not, you will get killed to death. Because it's just not refined. I don't know a way to put that. Yeah, I'm just going to say that. I mean, that's picnicking, but also enough to ding it a chair. So I'm going to give it 3 chairs for the pointy and clicky and dyiness.
Yeah, well, I'd imagine with one of the sponsors of this game being War Child, they want to put less emphasis on the combat, so I can sort of understand that.
Yeah.
But like Vin said, the interface is really simple. You point and you click. I too ran into that problem where like you sort of forget you have the one guy highlighted and you click on something else. Like a clearly labeled keyboard shortcut would be nice. But I don't think this game really needed a tutorial because you can more or less figure it out on your own just by clicking around. It's not unlike I'm going to compare it to Space Base because it's a game in recent memory that functions very similar to this game. Space Base's control schema is completely fucked. You sort of assign people roles and then you generate a list of tasks, and then when they feel like it, they'll get up and do shit. I like the ability to actually delegate tasks to people and tell them you do this, you do this, you do this. Managing your mans and whatnot, managing your resources. It's what makes the game the game. It's the core mechanic of it, so it works. I'll give that 4 chairs.
Yeah, the mechanics were definitely well implemented, and yeah, it doesn't have a tutorial because it doesn't really need one. You can pretty much go around clicking on everything and seeing what it does, and so long as you're in the hideout, you're pretty much safe. So when you go out and try to scavenge,
it'll clearly tell you when you can't do something.
Yeah. If you go out and try to scavenge, you have an idea. Okay, so if I do this, it'll do this, so I can expect that. And to me, that's pretty good. And it's all a matter of clicking, and clicking does what clicking is supposed to do. So 4 chairs for me.
All right, so that's 3 cheers for Control. And now our final subjective category. Fun.
I'd like to call it Point, Click, Die. The game.
Isn't that the name of that latest Tom Cruise movie?
Probably. When it comes to the fun, I genuinely had what I got in the notes here. It was like, oh, crafting. Oh, fuck. Right. Okay. And don't give me this starvation bullshit. I'm sorry. I got a crowbar and someone's sleeping in the motherfucking house. I got food, man. I mean, maybe I couldn't eat it, but I could, turn them into food and trade for tree bark and other hippie moon shit I eat. Didn't really like that aspect, and there's clearly not a me in there. We were talking before we started recording. Is the people who developed this game, maybe they were going for a certain thing, trying to show off something, an emotion like that. I don't know. I'm completely fucking dead inside. And to me, the people who developed this game thinking that's how that's going to work will be the first people deaded to death. I guarantee it. Guaranteed. So
he's just like Men's Warehouse. He guarantees it.
For fun, I don't know if this is such as much as a game or like trying to play on your emotional feelings, of which I have none. I found it repetitive, boring. It's fucking potluck on what day you show up. You can beat it in between 2 and 3 ons, depending on where you start out. Sometimes, middle of winter, you're just fucked. You're just like, screw it, try again.
Yep.
When you start off, because you know you're going to be deaded to death. Good try, good graphics, decent sound, interesting, but not enough to make me ever want to fucking play this again. So I'll give this one chance. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know how much fun you're actually supposed to have in a war victim simulation game. This will certainly test your zombie survival plan if you luck out. It's like a roguelike where you get permadeath and you have everything is essentially randomly generated. So yeah, like Ben said, if you start off with a bad break, you're pretty much fucked. Like after I lost the first guy, I restarted the game, and my house was filled with nothing but weapons parts and no food. It was brilliant. But yeah, I don't know. I see what they're doing with the game. It does its job of trying to illustrate the horrors of war. It does its job trying to illustrate that if you are a non-combatant in a war zone, you basically are fucked, and every day is life and death. So that message got across. It's supposed to be a game, though. I play games to relax and enjoy myself, and this is not really one of these games. It is. I don't know. I would classify it in the sort of same vein as Depression Quest or Gone Home, where it's putting its message more in front of as more of an emphasis in the actual gameplay itself. So with that said, I'll give it 2 chairs because it does its job effectively. It's just not fun. It's not a fun game.
Yeah, like Jordan mentioned, they were trying to get the whole war is a bitch for people who are not fighting in it, like the civilians and everyone else. And this is what this game is trying to portray. It's not supposed to be fun, and I get it. But I also get that proper horror games are not supposed to be fun, and yet I love them. Amnesia, The Dark Descent, Silent Hill 2. Those were really awesome horror games. They were not fun to play. In fact, the only thing they did to me personally was make me not want to play them. This game, on the other hand, it just doesn't resonate with me. Maybe I'm not the target audience. I've never experienced the war firsthand. So yeah, I'm an asshole, but it doesn't really resonate with me. And I really don't mind micromanaging a single person. It's when it comes to micromanaging an entire house filled with people that it really gets on my nerves. So for me, the best I can do is 2 chairs.
All right, so that's 1 chair for fun, and if we tally all this nonsense up, we get a final score of 3 chairs, which is pretty good. So, final thoughts? Is this game good for absolutely nothing? Good God, y'all.
For the prize. No, like I said, this is not meant for a person like me. I'm a psychopath. I ran into a situation where I had somebody wounded, and they were draining my resources to keep them alive. Yes, you can send them out and get them killed to death, but that's going to affect morale. All right, if I'm in a war situation, I'm not going to be in a house full of people affected by morale. I'm going to be surrounded by people affected with wanna fucking live. So, kill the weak, eat all the babies, and that business. Again, for that price, you're looking at maximum 4 hours of gameplay. Really no replayability unless you're just like, oh, war's bad and depressing. War gets shit done, man. I mean, thinning out the hood. I just hate to break that to you. P-Man?
Yeah, war has been the way that humanity has pretty much advanced through the eons. Whenever there's a big war, there's always a big revolution in the way people think. And while it's not pretty, it's, like Ven said, a way to get shit done. This game, it tries to make you empathize with the people cowering in their homes, that they don't want anything to do with the fight. And I can sort of see that, but it...
Yeah, but we're the
In
type
my
of people
opinion-
that are going to we're going to make poo sticks.
The poo stick.
Save
Save your mummy! Save your mummy!
It's not really the kind of game. Again, this is my own personal opinion. It doesn't do a very good job at what it originally set out to do.
Are you saying
And-
it's not good because you have no heartstrings to be tugged?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm an insensitive asshole. I'm a cold, calculating bastard.
And that's the thing. If again, it's like I said in the fun segment, it's a game that puts its message it emphasizes its message more than its actual gameplay, and I think that will ultimately harm any game that does that, because you're supposed to have fun playing games. You're supposed to be challenged. You're supposed to be engaged. And this may not be engaging because its target audience, spoiled white Western people, are completely removed from war and conflict and
Yeah.
have no empathy for it, as we've seen